Hi, this presentation is meant to help you decide whether or not Slack's Enterprise Grid is the right solution for your organization. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to start with the basics of why consider Slack Enterprise Grid. So one of these reasons is process optimization. Another would be the need for increased security and also potentially centralized administration. Enterprise Grid is a solution for large, fast-growing, or complex organizations. It empowers your organizations to work with the agility of a small company while tapping into the resources and knowledge of the entire organization. We're able to do this through our architecture on Enterprise Grid, our internal security program, and our product features, and we'll be going over these throughout the presentation. So to start with, we understand that every organization is different. So we give you the security features you need to help you meet the demands placed on security, compliance, and data protection head on, all without sacrificing user experience or usability. We have an industry-leading security program based on the concept of defense in depth, securing our organization and your data at every layer. This can be broken out into two primary building blocks. First, how we secure our organization in order to protect your data. Second are the options that Grid gives our customers to best secure the data they put into Slack in line with their own requirements. So first, let's look at some of the things within Slack's internal security program, starting with our compliance. Slack complies with broadly recognized standards and offers tools to help customers meet their own compliance requirements. We continue to earn certifications adhering to the most broadly recognized security standards, offering solutions to help address your compliance requirements and employ rigorous measures at the architectural and operational levels, all to keep your data safe. Internally, Slack has a security program and a dedicated security team that uses the industry's accepted best practices and frameworks to keep your data safe. Our approach focuses on security governance, risk management, and compliance. We encrypt all data in transit and at rest. We employ strong network security and server hardening practices where all testing and development activities are hosted in a separate network from systems supporting Slack's production infrastructure in order to protect sensitive data. On top of that, all servers within our production fleet are hardened according to CIS benchmarks and have a base configuration image applied to ensure consistency across the whole environment. For admin access control, Slack employs industry-leading multi-factor authentication for all necessary access to systems that Slack employs, including our production environment, which houses our customer data. All access to privileged commands is restricted to authorized employees only and logged in an immutable enclave. This access is restricted based on your business needs. And finally, we monitor all Slack-owned servers and workstations to retain and analyze a comprehensive view of the security state of our corporate production infrastructure. And of course, all production logs are stored in separate secure networks that is accessible only by the relevant security personnel. So now let's look at the architecture of Slack Enterprise Grid, and you'll see how it may be a little different than what you're used to seeing now. Currently, you probably work out of one workspace or potentially several siloed workspaces. Within your workspace, you have the ability to view your channels, your messages, your teams can search, find files. With Slack Enterprise Grid, this is designed to mirror the way your organization is structured and to grow along with your organization. It can be made up of as many individual workspaces that you need, while keeping these workspaces connected within the container of your organization. So now instead of having different siloed workspaces or perhaps having a more complex organization on just one, you can have multiple workspaces, and then you have your administration can oversee them all in the same spot. You can have messages across them. You can have files shared across them, search across them, as long as the individual has the access to search. You can also have settings for each different workspace. And then all of your applications and tools can be integrated within those workspaces as well, including your conversations and your channels with your external partners. This enables your team to work with greater agility while providing IT administrators with centralized tools to manage security and maintain compliance across the entire organization. One really cool thing that you can do with these different workspaces, even though they're all within one organization, is you can give each one a different retention. So if you have one that has that needs data retention only maybe 3 years, you can have one workspace with that, while maybe less risk, you might have unlimited. In addition, you have more access around admin controls. This helps decrease liability for several reasons. One, users are not provided with more admin abilities than are needed for their specific tasks. So in Enterprise Grid, you have different admin roles you can apply to different things, such as a channel admin, a compliance admin, and we'll get into legal holds admins, user admins. This greatly reduces the risks of administrative abilities being used incorrectly and places guardrails to expand the admin team if needed. You also can set custom terms of service, not only for your organization, but for each individual workspace, if there is a different custom terms of service for each department or each division. So now let's go a little bit deeper into these product features that Slack offers that can help your organization meet your unique needs. First, just a quick overview of what we'll be going over, both identity and device management, information governance, and tools to help with data protection. So we do offer SAML SSO, where you can easily control who has access to your information by streamlining the provisioning process during onboarding and offboarding. This makes it much easier on your admins. And also you can decide which workspaces these users belong in and which channels. We also offer SCIM guest provisioning. This is the ability to create, provision, and deprovision guest accounts in Slack for sets of employees, including your contractors, partners, all using the SCIM API. Something great that Slack Enterprise Grid also offers is domain claiming. Why this is important to your organization? Well, it makes your organization's connected workspaces much easier to find. It also prevents people from creating unsanctioned workspaces outside of your organization. And it allows people with email addresses in specific domains to join your org. One of our newer features that we're really excited about in Slack's Grid is our native legal holds. In Enterprise Grid, anyone with the legal holds system admin role can place legal holds on specific members to preserve their messages and files within Slack. When you create a legal hold, you can include message and file data from all conversations or just direct messages that a member is part of. Data that is subject to a legal hold can be accessed from a JSON export or using our Discovery APIs. So speaking of our Discovery APIs, we do offer the ability for you to integrate with your third-party data loss prevention tools or your third-party e-discovery tools. This can help you save time and reduce admin overhead to archive and discover information across all of your applications and systems, and also can help you quickly find the relevant information that you need with market-leading archiving, discovery, and compliance APIs. We also offer our audit log APIs for monitoring and auditing events in your organization to ensure continued compliance, to safeguard against inappropriate system access, and to allow you to audit suspicious behavior within your enterprise. With this API, you could automate your feeds into Slack's access data into a SIEM or other auditing tool. You could also proactively monitor for potential security issues and write custom apps to gain insight into how your organization is using Slack. Now, these API methods provide a view into the actions that users perform, but I do want to mention they don't enable monitoring of the message content. So if you do need to proactively monitor messages for compliance reasons, you might want to discover an e-discovery or data loss prevention solution. In addition to our discovery APIs and audit log APIs offered with Grid, we also offer admin APIs. This is going to help developers write apps to automate many use cases on Enterprise Grid. The ones listed are just a few of what you can do, including manage app approvals. So if somebody wants to use an application, it can go through a certain approval process, manage invite requests, reset sessions rapidly, and provision programmatically. And again, these are just a few of the things that you can do with our admin APIs. We've also very recently added native DLP for Slack Connect. This is you can configure data loss prevention preferences such as messages, numbers that look like social security numbers or might alert you to credit card numbers, anything like that, maybe a person's name that's sensitive that you don't want mentioned. And you can have this notify your team. So when it says for Slack Connect, as you may or may not be, for those of you not aware, Slack Connect is the ability for you to connect with other organizations that also utilize Slack so that you can communicate with your partners seamlessly. Within these Slack Connect channels, when there's somebody that is not a member of your organization, that is where this DLP rules can be applied. This being said, we do have a roadmap to have DLP for all of Slack on Enterprise Grid within the next year. And so we are excited about that. Information barriers are another way that you can help keep your organization secure. By default, any member of an Enterprise Grid organization can send direct messages with any member of the same organization. In order to prevent members from sending direct messages to each other, you can create what we call information barriers between IDP groups, allowing your organization to avoid these conflicts of interest and safeguard this sensitive information. And we also offer an Enterprise Grid native mobile controls in Slack. So for enterprise mobile management, you're able to block file downloads and message copy, require secondary authentication, require mandatory mobile browser. You can also block jailbroken and rooted devices, require a minimum mobile app version, and a couple other things here. You can also make it so that you can't screenshot if you're on a specific Slack app. So there's a lot you can do out of the box for mobile controls with Enterprise Grid. And finally, we offer enterprise key management. With enterprise key management, many of our most security conscious customers are opting to manage their own encryption keys for data stored in Slack. Today, we support customers hosting their environment keys in AWS key management services for extreme visibility and control of their data. There's a few unique things about Slack's EKM. The first is that all of Slack's features and performance are maintained, including search, link unfurling, mentions, and the platform itself. This means that with EKMs, Slack is still the same Slack that you know and love today. The second is that admins have the ability to revoke granular key access. So what this means is that when an administrator decides certain data should no longer be available or shared via Slack, they can revoke access in a targeted way. So this will allow the organization to continue working and collaborating on other conversations without interruption, while the admin can target the one area of concern. So that's it for Enterprise Grid today. I hope that this has been helpful in helping you decide whether or not this solution could be right for you. If you have any questions or would like a follow-up demo, please reach out to our team.